like this. We're on now.
Yeah, we're live.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Finished Business Podcast, everybody.
Wow, look at us go.
I'm your host.
What are you hosting?
I'm hosting you guys today.
Wow. Who does that include?
This includes our usual people, and we have a special guest. Special guest, announce yourself.
The log.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the log.
Just say the log.
Fine, I'm the log.
The
Fine,
log is
yeah.
here with us today. Woo!
You can follow him at the log.
The log. Yep.
Is that really your Twitter handle?
No.
No.
Don't follow me on Twitter. Don't look for me. Please. Please don't.
And this is your first time trying scotch, right?
Yes.
And your first podcast?
Yes. Do it all at once.
Let's.
All right.
This is going to be fun.
So while he's trying to scotch, what's new with Muskie?
Oh, goodness gracious. A bunch of things.
You
So
enjoyed it.
we have inside joke.
Oh.
Occasionally,
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, it is Scottish whiskey. Sorry.
Muskie.
no, oh, it's
Muskie.
fine.
Old
It's fine.
Muskie.
We have a running joke with the log that every time he watches the podcast in his regular day-to-day life, and we mention Elon Musk, he'll drink, and so it's really
How has that been for you?
I might have a problem. But it's fine. It's fine. We can keep going.
so.
I'm just
Speaking,
not going to do it live. You know? Well, I might do it live. We'll see.
There's water over there. You could just drink the water.
yeah, it's not like it's tequila or anything.
Yeah.
There's a
Don't look at me.
Let's all look at the log.
current events. Elon Musk, his company, privately owned SpaceX, just launched a flight-proven Block 5 booster. So they've been running their Block 4s for a long time, and the Block 4s will come back and they'll reuse them, but they take like a year's worth of refurbishment. So these new Block 5 ones, it's like all of the technology put into one, and they're supposed to be able to be used within 24 hours. The legs come back up. They have like a black spot instead of a white spot, and an octa guard for the rocket engines. They have a guard for that.
Does that have to do with octopuses?
Probably.
An octopus into space now.
Wait, okay, but I have a question real quick about what you said, the Block 5
Yeah.
engines. Are they pentagonal prisms?
No.
Because a Block 4 makes sense if it's a cube.
So this is what they're talking about in
Pretty
blocks
sure it's
is
just the fifth block.
Oh,
No, it's like a-
I thought it was like a 5-sided block.
no, it's like a
Oh.
generation, like the 5th generation.
So what
Oh.
was the first block generation?
The
It's
first
like the cell
generation-
block and then the
So block.
No, it'd be called the one block.
well, a cell is like an individual cell is one.
Sure. Okay. Okay. Is it like
Yeah.
Legos? So you have a 1 block, a 2 block?
No.
Okay.
Let him finish. Let him finish.
Sorry.
What else?
So they've been launching rockets since around 2010 with the Block 4, the version 4.
That's 8 years ago, guys.
And they've finally got to the point where they can release this rocket that's like $50 million, which is really cheap compared to other rockets, and they can bring it back down, land it, and within like 3 or 4 days, launch it back up again. So on Monday, yesterday, they did that. They launched from Florida. They launched an Indonesian satellite up into space and successfully landed the Block 5. So this is all really cool stuff because it's just it's making the trust from the customers better in their company, and it's like proving their track record because rocket launches in the past, like they have to be
It's
not
like so much disposable equipment that's so expensive. And now,
Yeah.
now it's less of that.
Do you
That's
know?
great.
Do you know how many times they can reuse those engines before they have to retire them?
up to 100 times with the
Wow.
Block 5.
So that's got to save a whole lot of money then.
So what happens on number 101? It just like disintegrates or something? What's the deal?
Well, it's probably just considered unstable at that point or something.
I have an answer for that actually.
Oh.
So usually they land in the ocean on a portable, like
On a
it's
barge?
On
a barge.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a special barge. It's called, Of Course I Still Love You. It's got a weird name, but when they don't want to keep them, they just
Oh, it's called I Love You?
Of Course I Still Love You.
Oh.
That's
There's-
a great name.
Oh.
That is a good
The-
name.
that confused me a little bit the way you said that.
There's 2 of them.
Oh, yeah, by the way, Brad, I still love you. Yeah.
Oh, okay, thanks.
They're called drone ships. There's 2 of them. The first one's "Of Course I Still Love You," and the second one's name is called "Don't Forget to Read the Instructions." So
That's
it's
also a pretty good name.
yeah,
cute.
they're named by Elon Musk and his
Dumb.
personality. But so
Not Bodie McBoatface, at least. So. Yeah.
Rockety McRocket face.
so
Rocket face.
so so they're. I wish we had commercial breaks where we could laugh
Oh,
into
it's
the
already
commercial
commercial.
break and then like
Already for
take
like 3
5.
minutes. Take a commercial right now.
So anyways,
All right. Finished Business Podcast brought to you by Nick Spandana. Buy one today. All right.
Don't.
Sorry.
Only Nick can look like that. Don't buy one.
Continue, Nick.
anyways, so this is all really cool to me because this is making space flight cheaper. So they're trying to get a bunch of solid runs with this Block 5 because we're not able to put astronauts up in space with Russia anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Russia's like, nope, you can't do it with us anymore.
Because they were the only ones that were doing the rockets anymore, right?
Yeah.
Just
The-
in case you're wondering, it's because the Russian government can't really afford it.
The funny thing about that is, and Russia has actually trolled the United States, like on Twitter, and like made advertisements.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Listen, so they're trolling us because all of our rockets are named American shit, you know, but they're all using thrusters made by Russians. Like the Merlin engines that are inside the SpaceX rockets are Russian engines from the 60s. Much better versions. But the joke is like Russia's like we're still putting Americans into space, like. But anyways, so
Yeah.
they're no longer allowing astronauts to go up in their Suez rocket, and so we have to figure out a way. And about 5 years ago, we learned this, and the government put money into Boeing and SpaceX, and so they're both competing with these it's like a crew pod. The SpaceX is called the Dragon. They've been using the Dragon forever and ever and ever for cargo, but they want to put people in it. And in order to
It's a
put
whole different ballgame.
in order to put people in it, you have to have a bunch of like proven successful flights, and so that's what they're working on right now.
They haven't sent people out yet.
No.
Is that so many successful flights? Is that a regulation by the government or something saying for it to be safe, you have to do it this many
Probably
times?
just a bidding requirement. Huh?
Yeah, it's they have like a thing for rockets. They have like regulations and stuff. But they had a problem for the longest time with SpaceX rockets because in the last 30 seconds before launch, it gets loaded with like liquid oxygen and liquid kerosene, like super deadly flammable stuff. And the government wasn't going to let them do it because of how dangerous it is. It's like a huge amount of danger, and they haven't had a rocket blow up in a long time. So they're doing really good. And by April of 2019 is when they're expected SpaceX is expected to send humans to space.
For
And-
test trials, right? Or
They're like hamster humans, or
No,
actual
it's
humans.
it's going to
Yeah.
be real.
so
Hamster
like a little
humans?
vacation out in space.
To the International Space Station.
Oh,
Because that's the problem is we usually use Russian rockets to get to the ISS. But now, if we don't fix this right now, we won't be able to send Americans up to the International Space Station. So what they're going to use is this Dragon capsule that's been going up and down with cargo for a couple of years now. So they just have to rate it for human
I see.
travel. So it's the same thing, same technology they've been using, and it
You
like
have to make sure it's airtight this time.
it lands with 3 big huge parachutes and it soft lands. It's pretty cool. Like there's one initial like first umbrella that comes out to stop it like 100 miles per hour, and then 2 more come out for like the last 50 miles per hour.
It comes down like, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Umbrellas, did I say that?
Yeah. No, but
What are they? What are they again? They're
Parachute?
Parachute?
Parachutes, yeah.
I mean, umbrella, it's kind of the same thing.
it's
So-
a big umbrella,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it's not for rain; it's for air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those
And
are my
keeps the air inside, not the air outside. Like it keep rain. Like umbrellas keep the rain outside, not the rain inside.
You know, to a certain point when you guys keep poking fun at me, I'm just going to start ignoring you. So,
Cool.
It's just because we didn't do it last week, so we have like double the
Yeah,
pent
I
up.
haven't seen you in like 3 weeks, 4 weeks. You
Yeah,
haven't
well,
been on a
that's not my
podcast in a
fault.
while.
It's because we missed you.
I did a podcast 2 weeks ago. Where were you?
I don't miss you back. So let's start talking
It's
about our
because I'm
guest.
the realest friend you got.
Let's talk
So
about
what's our subject for tonight? Was it
Music.
music?
Yeah,
Or
we
was
have
it-
we
was
have
it-
the log who's a
No.
music connoisseur.
It changed.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
You
it's
did a
not
last
music
minute
anymore.
switcheroo.
What was it? Home
Home
invasion.
Home
Yes.
invasions.
Hand in hand, you know?
We
Yeah.
got music, home invasions. Like,
All
Home
right.
invasions. That sounds like
Yeah.
a pretty fun subject.
So of course, when you think home invasion, the first thing you think of is Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
No.
Because that's
Home
the
Alone
better
1.
one. No. Home Alone 2
Because
is way
that,
better.
the Home Alone 1 is actually his home, though. Home Alone 2's got to find somebody else's home.
that's
Yeah,
a good
like
point.
his aunt's home or something like that.
Yeah, but it's not the same thing. It's like a construction site.
Hey, home is where your heart
There's
is.
so many fun things on construction sites.
That's
I work
the
construction
your
moral of the
chest?
story.
sites every day.
Home is where the heart is.
In your chest.
Wow.
Very literal, Brad. Very literal.
That's the way the world works.
Has
Or-
anybody here ever been home invaded before?
Has anyone here ever invaded a home?
Ooh,
I won't answer that
I'm
one.
not going to answer that question.
The log here he puts the Asian in home invasion. Because as you can tell, if you're watching on YouTube, he's very Asian.
Is he really, though?
I'm Hawaiian.
That's
Yeah.
what I thought.
We're still working on that joke, ladies and gentlemen.
He's not Asian. And now I just
Hawaiian.
sound racist.
It doesn't matter what his race is.
No, it doesn't, because we judge him by his character
And
not by the
personality.
color of his skin.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've been
Bark like.
I've
like
been-
A log.
That wasn't making fun of you, Nick. That was
no, it
making fun of him.
wasn't. Interruption nonetheless. But I've been waiting for a long time to have the log. Can we use your name?
Yeah,
No.
that's better than saying gay the log.
I've been waiting for a long time to have Gabe on the podcast. I work with him at we're coworkers. He's a very interesting guy. And so originally we were going to talk about music because if you were to tell us a little bit about yourself, you play guitar, right?
Yeah. I
Or
play.
classically trained guitar or no?
I trained myself classically, but that was like in high school, and I couldn't afford to get like a teacher, but I was like really passionate about it in the moment, and so I took a lot of time to like learn all like reading music, and because when a person like regularly gets a guitar, they're just like, how do I play a chord, and then they're just like Wonderwall,
Yeah.
they just play like the generic guitar
Leonard
songs.
Skinnerd.
Yeah, Freebird and stuff like that. But I was really interested in like the Spanish, where they're using like all their fingers and everything. So,
Flamenco?
yeah. And I thought that was super cool. So I tried learning it, and I grew my fingers out really long, grew my fingernails out really long. But I had
Hard to
like
grow just your
it was like in
fingers.
high school, so I had like gym and everything. And so we were playing basketball, and my nails kept breaking. And
Wow.
So I like got like nail hardener, like nail polish stuff, and so like my nails look super fabulous. People were making fun of me for that. And then like it was just really hard, and so like doing it by myself, like the passion just slowly died out
Did you?
because it was just difficult.
Did you ever achieve that flamenco guitarness?
Oh yeah, I could play like some standards like Rondo alla Tucara,
Yeah.
I could do that, but it was just really difficult to find like a source somewhere that wasn't like an already classically trained teacher, because like we live in a small town, so like
Right.
I couldn't find just someone who's like, Craigslist looking for a classical guitar teacher. We'll pay like $20 a month for lessons. Like,
Yeah.
so it was just too hard for me to do alone.
Were you in a band or like in the school band or anything like that? Orchestra,
I was actually in choir.
choir. Okay.
Yeah, so I sang, and I was in the bass section.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was really popular with the ladies. No, I just kidding.
Not really.
Ladies didn't like the bass. No, they like
No.
the tenors.
They like the tenors?
The ladies like the dudes that look like chicks. Yeah,
Huh.
It's funny how that works.
right,
So they like the dudes that might not be dudes anymore.
right.
Whoa! But this is back in high school.
Yeah.
This is
So,
before everything
This is not
like that.
2018 anymore.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Oh yeah, things have changed.
Know what we're talking about though?
Times have definitely changed. Back when I was a lad.
Back when I was in high school.
Back when I used to be a man, then I grew breasts.
Happens to the best of us.
The breast of us.
The breast of us. So, did you... I mean, do you still play guitar just for fun or anything?
Yeah, that's why I did it in the first place. Because I just liked playing my favorite songs, and then I'd find like things that sounded interesting, and I wrote my own music. But it just didn't really take me anywhere, unfortunately.
But you still have
Still.
that.
Yeah, I still
Like riding a bike.
yeah, like I play guitar like pretty frequently, but I listen to music like every day, like probably for like 6 hours every day.
Okay.
Because you can listen to music at work.
Yeah, I count that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's important.
Why do you think it's so hard to make a living with music?
Because everyone wants to make a living with music, and so
I
the
know that.
quality standard is like so low that it's like not worth paying attention to, even when something very interesting comes along. Not to say I was like particularly good at anything
Right.
musically, but it's just that like everyone's expectations is so low that it just like we'll just play the radio, you know.
Right. Is that why pop music sucks? Is because the bar is set so low, and because those production companies have a whole lot of money to just pump out crap that's catchy?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a really difficult subject to talk about.
But hold on.
Yeah.
Deep, man.
Hold on. There are ways to like sell out and make money. For instance, if you were a guitar player, you can like go and busk on the street, or you can go and play gigs where you play in like a lobby.
That's
Yeah,
not
they tell
selling
you,
out,
oh,
though.
no, but if they want you to play certain music, then that's selling out.
That's
Right,
selling out.
right.
Like if they're like, I'm like an alternative guitar player, and they're like, we want to play Country Road by John Denver.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
then that's selling out. And I
yeah.
probably wouldn't do that, even though I love Country Road.
So
by
there
John
are
Denver.
ways to make money with it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not
Be
a lot of money.
studio musician.
A studio musician, you could join a band.
Yeah, but you have to be very social for that. Like you have to be like charming. Like you have to know people.
Or you have to be so good that you stand
Yeah.
Or
Like
You-
like the,
guess.
the drummer from Rush, Neil Peart. He's one of the best drummers
yeah, no.
ever. And
Say that again?
they've-
From-
Neil Peart from Rush.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And he, what do you think I said?
I thought you said like something, 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 a band. Like you meshed all those words together like it was the name of a band.
No, Neil Peart, the drummer from Rush.
Yeah.
That's
They-
the band name.
Yeah.
They met him and like he was working at a tractor sales place or something. Like he was selling tractors for a living, and they were like, "Man, you're good. You want to join the band?" And then they became world famous. And they're all
Rush,
Canadian,
Rush,
eh?
Yeah.
And like 2/3 of them are Jewish, and the other third's Christian.
Which one's Christian?
Neil Peart.
Actually,
Actually,
I'm selling tractors. Come on.
yeah. Country road.
Take me home.
To a place.
West Virginia.
Mount Mama.
Take me home, Country Road.
I heard that's been being sung at your guys' work a lot.
Oh yeah, everyone sings it.
Everyone.
Except for the black guy.
We have to give context on this real quick because we work.
Because he's a hip hop head?
No, because okay, so we work with a bunch of ethnicities. The majority of them are Hispanic, and so when you play hella country music, a lot of them know it. It's weird because their parents listen to it and like made them
Yeah.
listen to it. But you would presume like a white boy would know Country Road, but we have almost everyone in the kitchen knows it, knows
Yeah.
that song, and
Well, it's
sings it.
because it's like overplayed on the radio.
It's not overplayed. You can't overplay Country Road.
Touche.
That's a special exception. Okay.
Damn.
Alright.
But yeah,
John Denver, that's fine.
I
you
find
get-
it amusing all the time.
Yeah, everyone knows it.
Everybody knows it. And then servers will come in and like you watch their face as they walk through the door and realize that Country Road is playing and their face gets a smile and they're like they start singing it. It's really great.
Yeah.
It's excellent.
What a song.
The power of music.
It's
Yeah.
kind of crazy because that's like a sad song.
Yeah,
In
cuz
actuality, it's like take me home to the place I love, West Virginia. You know?
yeah,
It's like
cuz
I really want to go back
you
home.
can't go
'cause
home
it's
or
so beautiful.
something,
Yeah,
right?
you just can't.
Well, that's
Why
kind of
not?
like You Are My Sunshine. That's a sad song.
I'd go home
Or
right
Dancing
now.
Queen by
Dancing.
ABBA. Yeah,
That's a sad song?
I think it's like the saddest song.
Wait, how
Because it's like
so?
a matter of perspective for me.
Okay.
It's like, to me, like, you know the lyrics to Dancing Queen. You are Dancing Queen,
Yeah.
17,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. To me, that's like someone like on their deathbed, like thinking this was the best time of my life. Like,
Oh,
reflecting
Mm.
on when they were like carefree, the Dancing Queen, 17, young.
Better
everything.
life.
Yeah.
Maybe Country Road is about death too then, saying like when I die, bury me back home.
Yeah. Yeah, there you
Oh.
go.
Oh man.
That's entirely too deep for me. I like to think positive, happy thoughts about everything.
Death isn't negative.
It's another part of
I
life.
want to say one more thing about I want to say one more thing about my coworkers in that song. Okay,
Yeah.
so I have a coworker that's going through some personal problems, kind of a divorce type situation, and so we play that song like we were saying it's sad, and he jokes about it, but he's like over there like fake crying, like singing it sad, because it's a really sad song and it reminds him of what's happening right now. I feel kind of bad, but I think it's really making him happy. I hope that it's making him happy.
No, yeah. We
Okay.
tried playing happy music for him, and I was like, "What's happy music?" And I thought,
Happy
"Disco, the '80s."
Is that what
It's all happy music, and it's all like, "I miss you, I love you, you and me together forever." And then I look at him, he's just,
Still crying.
yeah. I thought, "Oh crap." And then we played like some boy band music, like
Okay.
what's
Bieber?
the Justin Timberlake band?
Oh, In Sync.
Yeah, we were playing like NSYNC. It's like, "Baby, I want you back," and everything. I was like, "Oh man, I'm so bad at this." He says, "I gotta step out, guys."
You should
Okay.
you should play him Dokken. You ever listen to Dokken?
No, what is that?
It's like it's hair metal, but it's all like every song is like, "Oh, this girl screwed me over. It's not love." And like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, make him violent. All right.
Well, no, not like 80s rock, like
Oh, okay.
hair metal, not like
Okay. Yeah.
no, like
butt
yeah, woman tonight. You know,
Okay. What was it called?
Dokken.
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 Okay, that's not how I would have spelled it.
Oh, well, that's how it's spelled.
Yeah, that's not what I would have typed
Yeah,
in.
Is that
I
like
suggest Into the
DOCK?
Fire.
Yeah.
Into the fire.
Into the fire.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah, it's yeah. Maybe that would be good.
I think he's kind of over it now.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
think so. All right.
Okay.
a little bit.
Well, don't
On
play
the
him.
outside.
Don't play him. "You Are My Sunshine" because that's about a woman that left the dude. So
Yeah. I
and
know.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
We usually just like Pandora, like classic rock, and it's most of the songs are also like Fleetwood Mac, like you can go your own way, like
Yeah.
There you go.
and then
Right
like
direction there.
Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone and stuff like that. So every time a sad song comes on, I'm just like, should we skip this song? Like
You should play him ska. Nobody can be sad when there's ska playing.
true.
That's what he actually requests. He requests like Sublime and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
some early Chili P.
MC Lars.
He's also
Nobody's heard of MC Lars. Okay.
Is that your band?
No.
Okay.
I feel
Shameless plug.
The best band ever.
You should play him Fat Cash and Co.
Wow.
Wow. Maybe he would know who they are.
That's his own band, by the way.
hey. We
What?
can't
Oh,
let's
that's not a
let's stop
promotion or
there.
anything.
Let's stop there.
Okay.
Cuz I'm talking shit and we got to keep it anonymous.
Okay.
All
okay,
right.
Okay.
Anyway, what's your favorite type of music? The log? Gay the
Uh,
log?
probably somewhere between new rock, like modern rock, / indie, but not like what you would expect indie to be, and like post punk.
Oh,
Indie that
because-
actually got paid.
Well, 'cause when you think indie, you kind of nowadays you think about like the dude with the high pitched voice, like
Passenger?
like
Oh,
or that,
Portugal
yeah.
the Man?
yeah, like Portugal the Man and stuff like that. But that's I kind of call that like pop indie,
It is.
where it's like super like
Produced.
colorful. Yeah, it's like produced. And
well,
like,
what does indie mean? Independent, no
Yeah.
record label. They're doing it your own
basically.
way.
It's kind of an unfair
You're not-
genre.
You're not
to
fitting.
label.
Yeah.
Because like you can like there could be like a metal band that's on an independent label,
Yeah.
and they'll be indie.
Yeah, technically it's anybody on an independent label.
Yeah. So like indie rock, and then like post punk. I like these genres because they're like the most balanced overall. Like usually with other genres like rock, it's like I feel like it can get like become too much, like overinflated, and it's just like like I'll like bands like the Black Keys. To me, they just don't like cut it for me.
But
because
they
it's just,
did.
like
Did they at one point? Did you like them?
There was that one song by
Uh,
Black Keys that everybody knows. That one was actually not too bad, but it was
Gold on the
overplayed.
ceiling?
Yeah, there's like a lot, but they're like it's very like formulaic.
Sure.
Like you
yeah.
can definitely be like intro, verse, chorus, key change, maybe.
So you like music that's mindful and takes talent.
Or outside of the norm.
I guess.
I'm not saying
No, I
that
just-
the Black Keys is untalented. I'm just saying it's. I personally like the Black Keys, but I do know what you mean.
But
It's very predictable.
Hmm.
They have a formula that people like, and so they continue to cookie cut it and put it out.
Yeah, which is what's been done since like the dawn of rock.
Right.
Since like Elvis started doing like rock and stuff like that. So you
So
kind of just know what's going to happen next, but it's just a little different, which is
I've-
fine because some people like they can sing better than other people, or they can play the guitar, or like anything else better than other people, or the sound is just like different. But most of the time, it's overshadowed by the predictability of the structure.
predictable. So you've been listening to a lot of experimental stuff.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. So let's talk about that because that's interesting.
What about like Bjork?
Do you like Bjork?
Some of it,
You actually do?
yes.
Whoa, I didn't
Some
know
of
that.
it.
Is that
Yeah.
still a thing?
Some of it for me is I don't really like, but some of it I actually do enjoy.
Okay, I remember you asked me like, "Do you like Bjork?" like 3 times before.
Yeah, well,
and I
because
said yes, and then the conversation just kind of ended.
I
so.
literally only know one other person besides myself and you, I guess, that likes Bjork.
Hey, you could count me as your third.
You
like
like
Bjork?
Bjork?
Yeah.
Whoa.
I know of Bjork.
Oh, you
well,
know
okay,
about
you
Bjork.
know of Bjork.
Wait, do I have to put a judgment on it though? Can I not say I like it or dislike it?
Yeah. You,
Okay,
I,
that's,
you just say
don't
I don't know
have to.
Bjork. Like,
Yeah.
No,
You
I
do
can
know
say
Bjork?
I do know Bjork, but I choose not to judge them.
Okay, that's fine.
So I don't say
I'm pretty sure it's one person.
it's a collaborative effort.
I think it's just the one lady.
I think it's just the one lady.
What's a Bjork?
There's a
Icelandic
We'll show you
singer,
sometime.
There's a-
lady.
Jason.
I don't think you would like it.
There's a Jason Derulo song that came out 3 or 4 years ago. That
Wiggle,
you-
wiggle, wiggle.
no, that uses a Bjork sample.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Am I thinking of the right one? We could go back. We can come back to this after I do my
Oh,
research.
sure.
okay.
Fine. But yeah, I like Bjork. I think she kind of gets a lot of bad, like, it's so weird, like it's so out there, but it's still pretty like it's not
Musical.
as formless or as shapeless as people make it out to be.
Right. Well, and that's why I really like. There are some genres of metal that I really like gent and math metal, which to most people just sounds like noise and chaos. But if you really like sit down and listen to it, there's a lot of very complex musical things going on. Like gent has a lot of polyrhythms and stuff,
Yeah.
which is really fun in my opinion.
Mhm.
But do you like classical music then? Because I feel like classical music has a good balance and
I-
can be very unpredictable.
Yeah, I guess it's just kind of, I don't know. I have like a high attention span, but not a high enough attention span for classical music
Oh.
because I can listen to like a 12-minute song or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, like,
Nice.
I can't listen to like a whole operatic section like for 3 hours.
Okay.
Well, okay.
So, because I like to like when I listen to music, I like to listen to like albums because
Sure.
I think
From
that's like
start to finish.
yeah, I think that's like the best form of music in my opinion.
Like
'Cause
storytelling.
that's- Exactly. Like a lot of my favorite albums growing up were like rock operas. Like
Yeah.
The Who did like Quadrophenia. Green Day did
American
21st Century Breakdown or something like that.
Well, and
like
American Idiot.
is also one too.
What about Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche
Oh, I don't know too much Queensryche.
or
love
like
that
2112 by
Yeah.
Rush?
Yeah, like stuff like that. That's like pretty
Yeah.
interesting to me because it's like just
like an epic. Like it
yeah,
is.
So-
like there's so much behind it. Like the concept alone is like very interesting. Just like think about.
I have a question for you. Do you prefer studio or live albums?
Probably studio most of the time
Hmm.
because I feel like when you play an album live, you're pressured to do a lot of things.
But hold up. Most of these people have been playing live, and that's how they got started before they even recorded.
That's right.
They played live. So hopefully, in my eyes, a live show would be better than a studio show.
Yeah, that's true. Like one of the greatest live albums of all time is like The Who.
Yeah.
They did like Live at Leeds is like still by a lot of people's standards the greatest live album of all time. It's great. But what they can do in the studio is probably far greater than what the display of their skill alone is.
Because of the control of the situation, they
exactly.
can plan it out accordingly, and you're doing this in like ingenuity and
Yeah, like a lot of what the Who does
Breakthroughs.
is like they'll have like
oh,
they have like one song, it's like 3 minutes, but they'll like inflate it into like a 10-minute song, and they just like do whatever the heck they want.
like
they just,
jam.
they jam exactly.
Vamp.
What is that?
Yeah, what is
That's
that?
when you like jam. You've never heard that term?
Nope.
What'd you call it?
Vamp.
Vamp.
Yeah, so a
Vampire?
vamp, like no, like in music when you're like playing with a group and it gets to the point where it's just like improvisation
Yep.
for so many members or so many measures, it's called vamping.
Oh,
At least that's what I
Yeah.
was taught it was called.
okay. Yeah, I'd never heard that.
I think you meant
Like true expression,
Huh? Exactly.
like solos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it's like a unity of sound.
we taught him wrong. That's
Crazy.
a joke.
But you can
do you
you
like
can
my-
still get that in the studio, but it's like
It's really hard.
I know.
Experiencing this with me, it's great.
Continue.
But yeah, I have to say studio.
Studio
live.
because they can control it more.
hmm
Mm,
But
okay.
live is still like more energy,
More
and sometimes more raw, but sometimes not. Like I was watching like Queen when they played at like Live Aid or something, and they had to do Bohemian Rhapsody,
Mm-hmm.
and they have to do the intro, and it's a recording. It's just the recording from the studio for like the intro,
Okay,
and then they do the mama, da, 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 and then they get to like the operatic part,
so I
and they have
think
to do the recording again.
so. I think what you're saying
They
is
don't sing it live? Oh, because it's so many parts?
listen,
it
listen
was
though.
like-
What you're saying is that some of the parts of the song are so complex that they can't do it live.
I mean, they could, but they
But
need
not-
like it wouldn't. They need more people.
They need more people to do
Yeah.
it.
So- Oh,
Like
so
they
do you?
need like a whole choir.
Yeah,
So would
And
you,
it wouldn't even be the same because, like, you know, Bohemian Rhapsody is like mostly Freddie Mercury.
Sure. So would you rather listen to a band that is good in the studio but sucks live, or is good live but sucks in the studio?
oh,
Probably good in the studio but sucks live.
Really?
no.
'Cause I've
See,
seen-
I think I'd be the other way around.
Yeah,
I've
I
definitely
agree.
seen a band that's good in the studio and sucks live.
Yeah. Well, and I've personally seen both. So
The idea for me is not only just listening to it on my headphones or at my house, but there's the live experience is like at least half of it. So
No,
like
yeah.
like music is great in the fact that I can listen to it whenever I want, I can sing whenever I want, but there's also like watching people perform live, whether it be whoever it is, a guy on the corner or going to a concert where you pay like $100 for a ticket. Like it's that live experience. So for me, and I agree with Brad. I think we're in agreement here that like live performances, I prefer them over
Yeah.
the studio ones.
yeah.
I have appreciation for the studio ones though.
Well, and I definitely get what you're saying, and I do really appreciate that too. Like if it's like a studio only band where they're doing all these complex things, or like music groups, quote unquote, that are just one or two people, but they've like multi-tracked songs. Like Owl City is one dude.
Really?
Right? Yeah. Like,
Yeah, right.
Does he have like a
He does all of it himself and just records
in the
it all.
studio. Yeah.
In the studio.
I don't know what his live situation.
So he
is.
doesn't have a
Probably
Probably
looper?
just hits play,
like
Oh yeah, he's just on a
and then
synthesizer.
like sings or something. Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
he could have
Yeah.
a loop machine though too. Have you seen musicians that do that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
Sing, loop it. and
I think those are cool.
super cool.
I think that'd be fun just to play with.
Yeah, just the amount of like you could tell that person has used that equipment and perfected the use of that equipment, knows it really well.
Right. I was in a group with a dude that had one, and it was kind of cool because it was like he used it on his guitar, and so it was like we had another guitar. So he'd lay down like a rhythm guitar track because it was a bassist, a guitarist, and myself as a drummer. And so he'd lay down like a rhythm guitar track for the first few measures
That's
or whatever,
cool.
and then play lead over it because it was looping.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool. It was almost like we had another guitar player. But there were some limitations to it, of course. It's not exactly like having another guitar player.
Yeah. 'Cause you can't. You're stuck in like a thing you can't go beyond.
Right. So
You could effect it though.
I guess
you
yeah.
could,
There's pedals for that.
but then you're spending more and more money on more and more equipment.
More money? I don't think money's the issue. It's probably more spending more time doing the action while you should be.
Money's an issue.
It's expensive equipment.
Yeah.
But even if you had unlimited funds, I know what you're saying is it takes more time to get to know the equipment and how to use it properly and how to get the effects
Yeah,
you want.
because when someone can use a loop machine and play a whole entire song, that's a lot of skill. And I'm like, dude, you probably spent 500 hours of your life practicing this one thing. Like, props to you. Here's like $5. You know.
You should give me $5 for playing Counter-Strike then. Actually, you should give me $10.
Hey, there
'cause I have
are-
like 1,000 hours in
Hey,
that game.
buddy, there are platforms for this already.
I
Go
tried
pro.
streaming.
Go pro.
Exactly.
He's not
sucks.
pretty enough to be on Twitch.
Yeah. I mean, look at me.
I mean, I like your beard, but
It's getting kind of itchy. I'm gonna shave.
oh, okay.
I need to do a haircut thing.
It's sticking everywhere.
Yeah.
So, Lance the Vegan, what's your experience with music? I know that you have some classical training, right?
I played the piano for several years.
For real?
Whoa.
How many
How
years?
many?
I don't know.
Wasn't it like 9?
Are you
It
kidding
wasn't-
me?
It wasn't an overly positive experience.
Why?
Because he was forced.
I was forced to do it.
He was also force-fed sauerkraut until he was 3.
Hold on. This is a good. This might turn out to be a really good like dynamic here. So you were forced to play piano in your younger years.
Yeah.
Like you're forced to like 2 or 3 times a week go to a piano teacher
One
after
time a-
school. Really? Okay.
How old
'cause
were you?
I don't know.
You
What do
don't
mean
like,
you don't know?
It was like when I was in like.
He blocked it from his
first-
memory.
Yeah,
first
jeez.
grade to, like,
Were you
sixth,
good at
seventh
it?
grade.
Or did
Oh,
you
okay.
resent it the whole time? Like, what are your thoughts on it?
You do it long enough, you're gonna get okay at it. But I never got as good as people that actually like to do it.
Okay, tell me more. I want to know more about this.
Because you didn't have the passion that someone else might
Right.
have.
So someone was making you do it. You're not like musically inclined. You're like, oh, this button does this. I'm gonna do it, dude.
I can actually read music.
Okay.
I know how. I can kind of play the piano still a little bit, but
Yeah,
it
you
all
shouldn't
kinda
forget.
goes away because I haven't done it like a whole bunch for a very long time. So
Okay, because I say I would have rather my parents force me to learn piano than not at all. Because like I have a kid now, and I'm having conversations with my significant other, and I'm like, I want to force Sam, my child, to do piano, because whether he likes it or not, it's going to help him later on in life with a whole bunch of things.
but is it though?
Is it? And that's why I'm asking you this. That's why we're having this conversation, because you are an example. Is it? Like you
So
can answer that
for-
question.
For some people it might be, but for some other people it might not be.
So I feel like you don't do very much music stuff. When I see you, I don't see you as like musically inclined. You don't play any instruments. You don't really listen to music, do you?
He listens to music.
I
But, like-
listen to music from time to time, but I mostly listen to audio.
Okay, so you don't like to listen to music. So would you say that that whole piano thing turned you off from it? Like made it a negative experience?
Not
And you,
necessarily. I mean, I enjoy listening to certain types of music. I especially like, some of the things that have been mentioned here, like Queensryche,
yeah.
stuff like that.
Or Queen.
Those or Queen, yeah, those are my
Kickstart My Heart.
Kickstart My Heart's probably my favorite song.
That's
By Motley
interesting.
Crue.
I didn't know that about you.
Yeah. So I mean, things of that nature. But as far as like, I was classically trained piano, and like none of the songs are really that awesome.
I disagree with that. But, well, except maybe Chopsticks. That's kind of lame. Bum, 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 bum,
I can
bum,
play
bum,
Chopsticks.
bum. So, as far as forcing your son to learn to play piano, though, I don't necessarily think that's a good idea.
So
In my
I
personal
know.
opinion.
I
Here's the
know.
thing.
I think it's a good learning experience.
Sure.
It'll
Yeah.
teach him to learn.
Discipline.
Yeah.
So
and
my-
different and deal with problems too.
Yes.
Every
Sure.
particular individual that's one of my siblings, which there are 3 of in this particular world, have gone through the same thing as me.
Jake,
Yeah.
Yep.
So we've all learned how to play the piano. Jake actually got better than me.
look at you guys though. You guys are all like above average people and like successful and have good jobs and stuff. So I
But
would.
does the piano playing have to do with that?
Yep,
Playing
yep.
has something to
I
do with
think
that?
so.
Why?
Because it teaches you you can't just give up on something, that like your expectations of something are
Believe
this.
me, I have not told anybody at work that I know how to play the piano.
What does it have to do with electronics?
But I kind of get what you're saying. It could be that it's teaching responsibility, and that sometimes in life you have to do things that you don't want to,
yeah.
but you still have to do them.
And you come out a different, better, worse. You come out a different person afterwards, and you learn something. And
Yeah.
plus, like for me, the piano is what everything's kind of based off of. The piano or the guitar, they're kind of, you can make them the same thing almost. and everything.
Oh, you mean put keys on a
No,
guitar?
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is like any song on any instrument being played can be played on the guitar or the piano. You could take like a saxophone,
Yeah.
a riff or whatever, and play it on piano or play it on guitar.
Yeah.
Like all of the keys and all of the notes on a guitar are all the keys and all the notes on a piano.
Yeah.
So that's what I would want to know, how to play a piano, because it's a solid foundation and it like teaches you about. There's math in there.
Mhm.
There's hella math in
Well,
there
yeah,
too.
it's all math. So, let me ask you: are you part of the I Love Math Club or the I Hate Math?
I love math.
Yes. Another member.
Yes.
Hey,
Wait,
I've got your
This is a rare moment where we are agreeing upon something.
Yeah, I'm
Okay, here's the
pretty much I hate math.
Yeah,
Really?
so you and me
Yeah.
are on the same team. Yeah, this
See,
is gonna be good. Yeah.
Here's the thing, Nick, is you think that we disagree on a whole lot, and we do, but I think we agree
on the basic thing.
Oh,
on-
we definitely agree on,
on
a
a
lot.
whole lot of stuff.
A
and
whole
so
bunch
I
of
think
stuff. We're
I-
doing this right now.
I think that it's unfair to say that this is one of the rare times we agree on something.
Okay.
Just saying.
Yep. You can keep that.
I'm trying to keep you accountable, sir, because
Ooh.
I care about you.
So on the rest of the note, with
Always
my family
checking me.
playing piano. So my older sister played piano a whole bunch, and she actually got to the point where she's good enough to teach other people. So she is a classic piano teacher from time to time as well, and she plays for a church and all of this stuff, and it's great. Yeah, she's an extremely good piano player.
That's it. That's awesome. That goes against like
Mhm.
you and your brother who have nothing to do with it now.
Right, and my younger sister also plays piano quite a bit as well.
Hmm.
Still, but she's in 8th grade, so.
So
but
is it
she's
a-
playing for her choir and all this stuff too? So she's extremely good as well.
Do you think it's the difference between the genders then?
It very well could
Nope.
be.
That maybe
At least
women
in our
are
family?
maybe women are more inclined to be into music. Not
No.
saying that music is feminine.
100% no.
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 Okay.
But as far as playing like classical piano pieces, maybe.
Let's look at the
But maybe
history.
not.
Let's look at history.
All right.
It could be like a misogynistic thing.
I think historically, both
Historically.
genders have liked
So yeah, you're talking
music.
Mozart and Bach and
Well,
all
yeah,
those,
if
like-
you
But
look
if we're talking just classically, then what names stand out? Like Bach, he was a dude.
Sure.
one gender stands out.
Yeah,
100% because that was back when like women were repressed, right?
Well,
Help,
well, I think maybe the context was maybe there were female musicians, but they weren't taken
There was
as
a lot
seriously
of inequality. How
Sure.
about that?
compared to today. Sure.
Yeah, 100%. Because back then I can't think of a lot of female classic.
I can't think of any.
Yeah.
What about the Queen of England?
What about her?
She's a prominent woman.
Yeah, she is a prominent
Queen of
woman.
England.
Does she sing?
I mean, I
Does
don't think
she
she played
sing?
music.
Does she have a music group? A boy band?
We
Oh,
should
that'd be an awesome name. The Queens of England. That would be an awesome name for a band.
only if they were all gay,
No, what?
because that's what a
And
queen
Neil or
is.
what?
That's not always what a queen is.
That the band Queen. Why do you think it was called Queen?
That was before.
No,
Nope.
he's been gay the whole time.
He
dude.
has
wasn't
been-
the only person who wrote songs. Freddie Mercury was the only person that wrote songs for Queen.
Sure, but he founded the band.
Did he?
Yeah,
Do we know that for certain?
pretty sure.
Oh yeah.
We could fact check this
Okay,
later.
okay, I'm gonna fact check it right now.
Hold
you guys
on.
talk about it.
I have something to say. I went. It wasn't until a year ago that I learned that Freddie Mercury was gay.
Well,
Okay.
you didn't know until
I
like a
did
year
not
ago?
know.
Oh, jeez.
So-
he died of AIDS.
I know. You're
That
right.
doesn't mean you're gay if you die
Because
of
he
AIDS.
had unprotected butt sex.
Oh, man.
Magic Johnson has AIDS. I'm pretty sure he's a straight guy with kids. What?
Freddie Mercury had a wife. Doesn't
No, he
mean he
didn't.
was. Yeah, he did.
No, he was
But
never married.
You have to realize.
Okay,
though,
Okay,
back-
we're gonna look
okay.
this stuff up
before
right now.
Before 2010, being gay was a bad thing to be.
True.
So you
think-
Are
to
you-
avoid, like the whole coming out of the closet thing is like no longer a thing anymore? But it used to be a big thing, like
Okay.
before the years like 2008 ish.
Time
it was
out.
a big thing.
There are a bunch of singers and famous people that have came out a long time ago. Ellen DeGeneres, Captain Kirk. No, not Captain Kirk. The dude from Space
Star Trek?
Star Trek.
The new Star Trek? Freaking Spock?
No, never
What?
mind. We'll skip him.
I forgot his name. I'm sorry.
There are people that have come out in the past, but nothing about that band has ever said homosexual to me. Nothing about Queen. Nothing about, oh, I'm a queen. Nothing at all. Throughout my whole childhood, I was completely, blissfully ignorant to
My
the
phone
fact.
just died.
Got him.
I'll use the computer.
Oh no.
I was blissfully ignorant to the fact that he was gay. Not
Yeah,
that
exactly.
it really
Like,
matters, but
yeah.
nothing about his music
There were no subliminal messages.
ever screamed that at all. Like, let's have sex with dudes.
Yeah.
You know, nothing about it. It was like, let's get pumped up and let's like,
Everyone sing along. type
yeah.
stuff.
Freddie Mercury was married to Mary Austin, and
How long?
then divorced her. He was married to her from 70 to 76, and then was partners with this dude Jim Hutton.
Oh, my mistake.
So he was married to a woman.
Okay, my mistake.
You know what they
6
call
years.
that? When
A
gay,
beard.
Yep.
Sorry.
You're taking my punchline.
I'm sorry, man.
So when a gay dude is married to a woman, it's called a beard because it covers up the fact. I guess. I actually don't know this part, but it's
Yeah, it's just kind of what it's called, I guess.
yeah, they're called beard. They're covering up the fact they're gay.
I guess. Yeah, I was wrong.
It doesn't. Looks like it doesn't
When
say
did
who
you-
formed it. It just says that it was formed in London in
Damn.
1970.
You gotta wait for the movie
Competitive?
because
So-
the movie
yeah.
is gonna tell us everything.
And the dude that's playing Freddie Mercury is one of my favorite actors right now.
You know who was gonna play Freddie Mercury?
Hackerman?
Borat.
Really?
Sacha Baron Cohen was gonna play Borat.
Dude, you mean Freddie Mercury?
He was gonna play
He
Freddie
did
Mercury.
play Borat.
Yes.
Okay, that would have been pretty good.
I don't
Oh,
think so.
yeah.
Um,
No, dude, he looks just like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah, but he wouldn't have been serious about it.
No, like, from what I remember, is that the band wanted the movie to be like a
They-
family film.
Oh.
But Sacha Baron Cohen was like, this is
but-
like rock in the 70s. There's like drugs, sex, all sort of suspect stuff going on.
Yeah,
I
and he
want it
wants
to be about that. Yeah. So there were
like let's
disagreements.
party the whole movie long,
Basically.
like the 70s.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have taken it seriously. He would have done a good job, but I think you'd want an actor to do it.
We'll never know now.
I like Sacha Baron Cohen. Don't get me wrong.
You too.
Okay,
I'm not saying
okay.
I dislike him.
I'd like to read something from the Queen page of Wikipedia.
Okay, do it.
In 1968, guitarist Brian May, a student at London's Imperial College, and bassist Tim Staffel decided to form a band. May placed an advertisement on a college notice board for a Mitch Mitchell / Ginger Baker type drummer. Roger Taylor, a young dental student, auditioned and got the job. The group called themselves Smile. While attending Ealing Art College, Tim Staffel became friends with Farrokh Bulsara, a fellow student who had assumed the English name of Freddie. Bulsara felt that he and the band had the same tastes and soon became a keen fan of Smile. In 1970, after Staffel left to join the band Humpy Bong,
Wow.
the remaining Smile members, encouraged by Bulsara, changed their name to Queen and performed their first gig on the 18th of July,
What year?
1970.
Wow.
So it was encouraged by Freddie Mercury to change the name to Queen because he was gay.
Nope, they
No,
didn't
'cause
say
the band
that.
was already formed.
The band was already formed under the name Smile.
Smile.
Why would you change the name? It was
But
after
there's
he
like
joined.
a different singer. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, "Guys, I'm such a queen. Let's change our name."
Wait, you said 1970?
Yeah.
Wasn't he married by then?
He was.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you think that because he was married means he wasn't gay at that time? You think he changed his name? Do you think being gay is a choice, Gabe?
Whoa, hold on. So there's a difference between being gay and coming out and being out as gay.
That's my whole point, Nick. That's my whole
No,
point.
your point is that they named a band because he's gay.
yeah.
Yeah.
No.
And his point was that they didn't because at the time he wasn't gay.
No, I didn't say that.
Well, you,
I didn't
you were
try
like
to infer it.
you were like he
What,
was
what if
married,
he was
wasn't
totally
he?
straight until the end of his marriage, and then like hit his head or something and became gay?
Hey,
That's
Stranger.
happened.
Ow!
What
It
is this
happens.
called?
It
What is
happens.
this viewpoint called that both Lance and Brett share? What is it? It's like a political stance. What is it?
What? About what?
About homosexuals and stuff like that.
What viewpoint do you think Lance and I hold about
I
homosexuals?
don't know much about politics, but I would think that it's probably Republican or something like that.
From what I understand, Lance thinks you can hit your head and become
then
gay.
become gay.
It's happened.
It's happened before.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm more Google.
Oh my god.
Okay, but what's this? I mean, what is this viewpoint, regardless of like political affiliation?
Well,
What is
they-
this viewpoint that you think we hold?
I don't know. I'm not educated enough in politics to know what your viewpoint
No.
is.
It has
but
nothing to do with politics.
You don't think so?
No,
I think
because
it is.
because you said that it's this viewpoint that we hold like about homosexuals. So what
That
do
it's
you think?
bad. You think it's bad?
That you think that we think homosexuality
Yeah.
is bad?
Yeah.
Okay,
You
so
poke
what?
fun at it all the time.
What's wrong with poking fun at people?
Yeah, they poke fun
What's-
at you all the time.
Yeah,
Are you
What's-
gay?
Oh my god.
indisputably homo.
I'm sorry I brought you into this.
See, I
I think they come
it's,
from a
it's
viewpoint.
it's totally cool. They laugh
Yeah,
like
they
this
can't.
all the time.
You can't argue. Like, you just gotta let them think.
So, okay. So whether or not we think homosexuality is okay or not, I don't think that really matters. It's not really relevant. But why do you think because Lance said that you can become gay from hitting your head makes you think that he thinks that it's wrong? How does
Okay,
that
so-
connect?
So it's probably not good of me to challenge your guys' viewpoints or beliefs like this, but I will say that is not because of one thing that you just said to me that would make me think this about you guys. I've spent
Okay.
a lot of time with you guys
Sure.
and had many conversations, and you guys you each have individual views, but
Yeah.
generally you agree on most of the things, and it's like a certain way. It's like you gun toting like like I care about these things and I don't care about those things, sort of thing.
Okay, so this is this is a funny title to an article.
So what are you guys laughing at?
It's called "The Stroke Had Turned Me Gay."
This is on BBC News.
This is on BBC.
Oh, British.
British was it British Broadcasting Company?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Following a stroke, Chris Birch's personality and sexuality altered dramatically. Now he is trying to rediscover who he is and why these changes may have happened. That's the first two sentences of the article.
Oh, I believe it.
I was gonna say this is America,
so
but this
this-
is British.
This dude had a stroke and became gay.
Yeah.
I mean, that altered something in his brain.
No, that's not what it means. This could mean
what
that
does it
he's just
mean?
using the fact that he had a stroke as a means of coming out.
That is true.
It
He
could
could be
be.
using it as an
Yeah,
excuse.
it's very
Yeah.
true.
That is
Transition.
true. That is true. You are right.
This whole
He could be
conversation.
using it as
Or not, or I could be wrong, or he actually did have a stroke,
Or
and
he-
some gay chemical balance is happening in his head. I don't know.
maybe.
It
Maybe
could
he
be a-
was just like, and then was like, man, I really want some penis. You know?
No, what could have happened was his Republicans.
Republicans.
I would. Okay, I'm going to challenge that.
Do it.
Okay.
God damn.
I am not Republican.
Okay.
Neither am
I
I.
don't care what you are. I'm just
Okay.
trying to find a word to put you in a box.
You
think
can
you
you
can
can call me
explain this?
if you want to put a label on me,
Yeah, I
a
wanna
political
label you.
label,
Or just a label.
you can call me a centrist libertarian.
That makes
That's a
no
good one.
sense.
Yes, it
Centrist
does.
libertarian.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I said, I don't really have a large grasp of politics, so
Mhm.
it doesn't matter what you are. You just are
Exactly.
something, and it's like something that's going to affect the way, like you are your certain way, and
Sure.
you're going to keep believing the things that you believe.
Yeah,
And
same
your
with
bel-
you.
Your beliefs will, yeah, in a way, but your beliefs will like kind of like conscientiously impact your thoughts.
Same
Like
with
a
you. Yeah.
cognitive bias. You keep saying that. That's
Yeah.
true, but some
Yeah.
people can be more open-minded about things.
And you think that I'm not open-minded?
No, I'm not saying that.
That's
I'm
kind of
not
what you're saying. You're saying that you're more
Let him finish,
open-minded than
finish,
me.
Let him finish.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
See, well, now I've sort of lost my thought. Like, if you,
I would.
okay,
You said some people are more open-minded.
Uh-huh.
Can be more open-minded.
can be more open-minded about things and like accept them and yeah, whatever. Like this.
Okay. So I want to. I want to. Do you know what the definition of open-mindedness is?
No.
And do you know what the definition of bigotry is?
Okay, so are you asking me if I know like word for word what it is, or if I can
No,
use
not-
it in a sentence?
If you can properly use it in a sentence.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Give me an
Do you
example.
want me to? Which
Yes.
one?
Both of them.
Say them.
Open-minded and bigotry.
Open-minded. Okay.
Or
so,
or bigot.
okay.
Or you could probably use
Well,
both in the same
so-
sentence.
Yeah.
Involving Trump specifically.
Actually, I was gonna use that.
Yeah.
You could say the log is very open-minded.
But then how would I segue into bigotry?
It doesn't have to be
It's
the
the-
same thing.
it-
It can
well,
be two different sentences.
That's what you guys asked, though.
Yeah, no, it doesn't have to be in the same sentence, but they
just
are
put-
connected.
yeah.
So, can I just tell you?
Clarify.
Okay, so open-mindedness is accepting that other people have different opinions than you and different views than you, and accepting them as people, regardless of what their views are.
Being open-minded has nothing to do with other people.
Yes, it does.
No, it
everything
doesn't.
to do
You
with
don't
other
have to
people.
get your
I think
information
I get what he means. Like,
from a person
yeah, like he can be open-minded.
about
but, like-
a topic of something.
Like he's willing to hear it out, right?
He's furiously typing on his
I'm
keyboard
gonna
right
get
now.
a definition.
He's
real quick.
fact-checking.
We don't.
Willing to consider new ideas and unprejudicated.
Nothing to do with a person.
Unprejudicated.
So that means that like for example, if you hold a different view, let's say that I like whiskey and you don't, then I don't oppress you. I don't think that you're a bad person because you don't like whiskey.
No, it does not mean that.
That's exactly what it says. What does it mean? That I have to be accepting? I have to believe everything that you believe? I think
no.
that's freaking retarded.
It is retarded,
Yeah.
and that's not true. So what it means is so let's say we have conflicting ideas, you
Yeah,
and I.
sure.
So I am willing to hear your side
Yeah,
and take it into consideration.
definitely.
Consider it and be like, oh, I still don't agree. I'm dismissing it. Oh, hey, there's a point there that makes sense. I'm going to accept it. Change my mind a little bit. That's what being open-minded to me is.
And you think I'm not that?
I don't think necessarily. I think that maybe the way you were brought up makes you tend to be a certain way with your thoughts, especially about people and their sexual orientation.
Sure. And I think you are the same way.
Okay.
There you go.
Deja vu.
So here's the thing: is I have heard all the arguments and I have considered all the arguments, and my opinion of that actually has changed over time. I used to think differently than what I do now.
Example.
So what? Yeah,
So,
example.
okay.
Thank you.
I
Gabe.
guess just to be completely transparent, I personally think that homosexuality is unnatural and not okay. So you are right, but I don't think it's not any of my business if somebody is gay.
Right.
So, I mean, I personally don't care. I'm not going to be gay because I think it's wrong. I don't care if you want to be gay. I'm not going to treat you any differently because you're gay.
Sure.
So here's my thing is I used to think,
But from what you just said, I don't believe you.
Yeah. Same.
I don't.
why?
Because you said it's unnatural. And
Yeah.
That's
Well,
like
you
I
have-
feel like if you saw someone who you knew was gay, that'd be like the first thing you think, like this person's gay.
There's like
Okay,
preconceived.
then why would I
But
have?
that's not
Okay,
actually the case.
right.
So
I
you have gay
hired-
friends?
Yes.
Yes, I have gay friends.
So
And okay, let me finish. And I hired a transgender homosexual individual.
yeah. So but it's the same thing as saying I'm gay, but I'm gonna have a wife because I'm tolerant to it. It's like I'm going to have a wife and I'm gay. Like just to fill the fucking political correctness. Like I have to have a gay person and a black person.
Do you really think I'm politically correct?
No, I don't.
No, that's
Yeah.
good.
Because I'm
Well,
not.
yes, in a certain sense. Like business-wise, you're very professional.
Well, sure, but that's separate from my personal life.
Oh no, I don't think you're politically correct at all. And there's examples
There you
in
go.
this podcast of you being
Yeah.
politically incorrect. This
Yeah.
specific one, like maybe 30 seconds ago or
Sure.
a minute ago.
Sure. So, okay, but so just because I think homosexuality is unnatural and wrong, why would I treat somebody differently if they hold a different view from me? And listen, okay, so let me give you some context. I used to think that people who were gay should die in hell.
Okay.
I used to
Whoa.
think that. Yeah. And I would say that is personally I think that idea is wrong now.
Yeah. That's a super negative way of thinking about things.
Yeah,
But
I know.
That's like religiously how you're
Okay.
brought up before 2008.
Well, but that's the thing.
Well, you
is-
said
is-
2010 before.
But actually, I wasn't brought up that way. That was some
that
sort
was-
of that was some sort of conclusion I came to on my own, and then I ended up having some gay friends and started talking with them, and then I started reading my Bible, and that's a religious thing, and I started thinking about it, and and I had at that point I had actually had sex, and I understood what sex was. And I came to the conclusion that homosexuality is still unnatural and still wrong, but that it is not my decision if they burn in hell or not. And I cannot say what is in their hearts, and I cannot condemn somebody for decisions that I might disagree with.
Right. So
So-
doesn't bias you a little bit towards the person?
No,
No.
not
Okay.
at all. So, okay, let me give you another example that's not homosexuality. I think that it is a poor life decision to smoke weed. You smoke weed. I don't think.
that's a better example.
No, okay,
It's just
yeah,
another
because
example.
do you feel as though I think little of you because you smoke weed?
I don't think that it's a belittling thing. I think it's you think differently of me. You have a different opinion of me because I smoke weed.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
pretty-
you'd probably feel higher of Nick if he didn't smoke weed.
No, I think maybe he would be making a better life decision if he didn't smoke weed. But I am not going to put you down because you smoke weed.
See, here's the problem: is at this point in our lives, we know very few people that don't smoke weed.
Yeah. Well, and I know a lot of people who are gay, and I have a lot of friends who are gay. And they're great people. Actually, sometimes they're even better than the straight people I know. So why should I because we have that difference of opinion and because they live that lifestyle, why should I just because I disagree with that, why should I think differently and put them down? I don't think that you should.
Okay.
So do you think differently of me because I think that way? Because that's the definition of bigotry.
Okay. So do you know what it? No, I don't. But do you know what it means to hate somebody?
Yeah.
So to me, I don't know the definition, but to me, if you
It's
want
a
to
pretty strong word.
listen, Linda. So
Ooh, I think Nick
Yeah,
hates
okay,
Lance.
okay. Nick's got the pillow. All right, Nick's got the pillow.
Okay.
So-
Go for it, Nick.
So, like, when you hate somebody or something, it requires a large amount of your personal attention towards that. So, like, so like hate and love are almost the same thing. It's just a positive or a negative thing. So, for me, if you hate something, it means you're constantly putting effort out and brain thought out into negative thoughts about that.
Sure. So do you think that I'm doing that?
No, I
Okay.
don't.
So then I still don't understand why you think that I think differently of people because I disagree with them.
Well, I don't know why you think differently about people because of that.
But I don't. That's the
okay.
whole thing, man.
I don't know why you think that homosexuality is wrong. Okay, so let me talk for a second. All right.
Okay.
So from like a scientific perspective,
Mhm.
if I was a scientist studying human biology, homosexuality is bad because two girls or two guys cannot further our lineage. We cannot put our genes out. Like the point of being a human is to make kids, to reproduce, and to like continue living, to continue the race of humans.
Right.
So,
That's the animal part of it. Yeah.
so for like a scientist, you're like, that's unnatural because it's gonna kill our race. Like if we all turn gay, we would go extinct. Like that's so. I mean, it's wrong. It's a little bit wrong as far as like our genetic coding to continue putting out our shit. But at the
Right.
same time, we can think whatever we want. We can have thoughts about whatever we want about going drag or like going and like jumping off of a building, like anything we want. But that's our thoughts, individual to ourselves. If you want to do that, you should be able to do that. If you want to be gay, if you want to dress up in drag, if you want to express yourself in that certain way, there should be no judgment or none of your business. You shouldn't even think
Right.
about it. You shouldn't hate that. You shouldn't put any thought into that.
Okay.
because-
But here's the thing: is you're assuming things about me. You're assuming that I hate people who do that. You're assuming that I think that they shouldn't be able to do that.
from behavior that I've seen from you.
Yeah, but that's not true.
Well, then why do you make that behavior? Why do you make the comments about butt sex and stuff?
Because you
Because
mean,
like to
why
make fun,
why should I
to like joke with your homie?
Okay, so I make fun of straight sex too.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Oh yeah.
No, all I've heard
Well,
is
it's because
that,
I
Let's
thought
hear a
that
joke.
I thought that maybe you would relate more to the gay sex joke.
why
so.
do you think I would
Ooh,
relate more to the
ouch.
gay sex jokes?
That was a
yeah,
joke.
Kind of.
Boom.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So
So it's funny to joke about gay sex, but it's not funny to joke about straight sex.
it's funny to joke about straight sex.
Make a joke then.
Yeah.
All right.
What?
Lance is your target. Make a
Lance-
straight sex joke to Lance.
What? Oh, well, I was gonna tell like one of those story jokes. I got a good one.
Fine. Yeah.
All right. So there's this woman that comes up and she's really scuzzy, all right? And this guy is like into her and their buddies are like, dude, you shouldn't do that. And he's like, no man, but she's super easy. So anyway, they go in and no wait, I'm not gonna tell this one. on the podcast. Let me tell you a different one. Okay, so there's
Why? Wait. We
No.
can
No,
talk.
just let him go. Just let him
Yeah,
go. Just
yeah.
let him go.
I'm not. I need to keep a certain level of. Anyway,
My mom watches this.
so there's this.
She heard you say that.
There's a guy that
My mom watches this too.
there's a golf guy that goes to.
My mom thinks.
All right. Are you want me to tell a joke or do you want to just keep going?
I don't care.
Okay. So there's a guy that goes to Japan and he's in a golf tournament, right? And he doesn't know the language. He's from America, and he's playing golf and stuff, and warming up for his tournament. He stays the night at this hotel and hires a hooker because he's like, in Japan it's legal. All right, we're gonna bang. So he's having sex with this hooker, right? And she keeps shouting out, Hoshimota, Hoshimota! And he's like, oh man, this must be really good. That must be like the word for good job or something, right? So the next day, he's out golfing. And he hits a hole in one and he yells, Hoshimota! And his caddy leans over to him. He's like, sir, why you say wrong hole?
Oh no!
That's a good one.
So remember that one and tell it to all your friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
I could argue that that's not necessarily a heterosexual joke, but
Well, it was heterosexual sex.
it was heterosexual sex.
If
butt
he was
sex.
having sex with a dude, then he wouldn't have been able to say wrong hole because he's only got one. And there was a gay joke. So
Tough crowd.
So here's the thing. So why do you think that just because I don't hold that view, why do you think that I'm hateful?
I don't think that you're hateful. I think that you are you because a person is a person because of like a string of beliefs that they have, a way that they like wake up and look at the sky or look at life. Like
Sure.
you look at life, you could be a hateful person and like full of anger, or you could be a really positive person and full of like motivational things and like bring the people around you up. You know, there's like a couple of different.
And do you think I don't do that?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just
Okay.
saying like the viewpoints, the way that you were raised, the way that you are, has made you the person you are today,
Right.
based off of your religious upbringing
Mhm.
or your just upbringing. Maybe you had a bad experience with a person or a group of people.
the-
They've all made you a certain way to make you not think homosexuality is a certain way.
So let me clarify
It's like
that.
a cognitive
Let me-
bias.
Let me clarify. So I think I've only ever had a negative experience with a gay person like once, and it was a customer that was upset at me for something that was completely unrelated. So personally, I think it's most of the time it's none of my business, and they can live their life and they can make that decision if they want. That's not my. I don't care. That's the thing is I don't care. That's a belief that I hold. I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're gay and you want to get married.
Okay.
I don't care.
Okay.
So and that's the thing is using your logic of because I think that way I'm a hateful person and think negatively or think differently about homosexuals.
That's why
You-
Trump won.
Right. You using that same logic, then you think hatefully of Republicans.
Which is why Trump won.
Yeah. And so do you hate Republicans because they have a different view?
Sadly, I'm extremely ignorant to the political system, so I
Okay. Are you hateful towards people who think that homosexuality is wrong?
am I hateful? Do
Yeah.
I spend time dwelling on people
Hate
that?
is a strong word.
So
No,
okay.
I'm not. To answer your question, no.
Okay. Then why can't I be not hateful towards homosexuals?
You can do whatever you want, but you told me before that this is my podcast,
Yeah.
and so when it comes to that, I'm going to advocate for that.
Okay.
And so, like, if this kind of escalated.
Yeah, it did.
It sure
Well,
did.
you opened the can of worms. You took it there.
Wing, 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 wing.
Okay.
And we're buds, and I'm going to be frank with you.
It's okay to think whatever you want to think. You
Uh-huh.
can be racist. You can be a big, huge asshole. But
Uh-huh.
the difference is your words. So, like, if I'm a big, huge asshole, but I only say nice things, how do you know that I'm an asshole?
Mhm.
You think I'm a nice guy.
So do you think...
So if I
Yeah.
only do straight things and act like a straight person,
Mhm.
you don't know that. I'm gay. You just know I'm straight because of the way that I act.
But it's none of my business if you're straight or gay.
You're right, but
Yeah.
but my words that I use are important, and your words that you use are important. That's all that you have to let your expression be
Well, I
known.
think maybe people need to stop being pansies and use whatever words they want to use. We have this thing called freedom of speech in America.
Means you can say what you want to say.
Yeah. So do you think that I have used quote unquote hateful speech then?
No, there's mild things that you've said,
Okay.
like something about butt sex is bad or something like that. There's a couple
Sure.
of comments you made about,
Sure.
and I find humor in that. Like,
Sure.
this is hilarious. to
Well,
me.
and it's usually it's meant to be humorous. And you know, if you truly find offense to that, then you should let me know, and I will refrain from making those kind of jokes and saying that kind of
so
thing
you
around
would
you.
filter yourself.
I would.
And you would continue to not be yourself around me. Okay.
Well, no. See, I think there's a difference there. So let me give another example.
Oh, your ice tray is leaking
Oh no.
as it melts.
Let me give another example. I was at a party once, and I was sitting next to this girl, and I said something was retarded, and she looked at me and said, "Oh, hey, my cousin has Down syndrome, and I have a couple other family members that are mentally challenged.
So
and
she's
I would
sensitive
rather
to
you,
it.
yeah." And she said, "I would rather you not say that." And I said,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. I'll refrain from using that word in that around you."
Right.
So that's not that I'm going to stop saying retarded ever. It's just that around that person, I understand that upsets her, and I'm going to be respectful of her space and her feelings by
Yeah.
not using that word around her.
Unfortunately, you're not being yourself. This is a byproduct.
No, I disagree. I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah,
by being courteous and not using that sort of language that offends that person, you are showing that you care about their feelings enough.
What if the whole original point of doing whatever you're doing is like a performance, and you like a large part of your performance is about retarded people, and now you have to completely change your performance or what you're all about
I
because
feel like if you're putting on a performance, the people that come and see your performance should probably know about what's going to happen.
You're talking about like at
Like a comedy
like
show.
stand-up comedy?
no, I'm not talking about anything like that.
Well,
I'm talking about you would cater to somebody, and that would affect like by you catering to that person's sensitivity to the word, you're changing what you say.
Well, but not really.
Instead
I could have used a different word. It was like something that was dumb, like something that was stupid or whatever, and I called it retarded. It was very lighthearted.
Right. You didn't mean any offense by it.
No.
But she got sensitive.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Like
and,
censoring yourself. Kind
right.
of.
And so
I think censorship is bad.
Well,
All right.
I don't necessarily think that you ought to be, putting a hard time on people for censoring themselves around certain people. I mean, I'm in a situation every day where I have to go interact with standard people. And
But that's your choice.
It's my job.
Yeah, it's your job. Like
Okay,
that's
so I can't act like I do at the shop.
right. Right.
It just can't, because then that would it comes off as
Yeah, so they say
bad.
they say
it's just bad.
they say that like you can know a person personally and you can have a work relationship with someone, or you can know them professionally and have it be different.
definitely.
So
But it's different with everyone. So if you're working on a job site with a bunch of other contractors, you act a certain way. If you're working on a job site and it's just you and a bunch of customers,
Or if you're
you
in the
act a
kitchen.
different way. If you're in the kitchen and you have a chef's table, you act a different way. It doesn't mean you're a different person.
Right. Or like in
okay,
in my
hold
business.
Hold on.
In my business, like I've said that I think homosexuality is wrong.
Do you
I
think
like guns
you're
and stuff.
Censoring yourself when you have a chef's kitchen?
It's not about being a different person. It's about how
You're
you
not allowed to do certain things, but you're not being yourself.
Yeah. Exactly.
So that's exactly what we're talking about. Too.
Yeah. Yeah. So when we have chef's tables, we do things differently.
Yeah.
But then
I think you personally, you don't do anything different. I think you are pretty much the same. But Nick is like one of the more tame people in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you know who I'm talking about.
I'm also a manager though, so I have to be somewhat responsible for things.
Are you
And
saying
isn't
you'd be
that-
more like, if you weren't a manager, you'd be more like our other friend?
It would let code name him.
Relationship?
Oh.
You think you'd be more like him if you weren't in a managerial position?
Yeah.
And so, isn't that what Lance was just talking about?
But sometimes I just don't say anything at all.
So
Right,
that's not
but
being
isn't that-
yourself either?
Yeah, isn't that quote unquote
that's
censoring?
That's the ultimate censorship is not saying anything.
I don't think you have to speak
Yeah.
all the time
Yeah.
to be yourself.
That's very true.
Yeah, and I don't
If
think
you're,
there's.
if you're just a quiet person, that's yourself.
You can convey meaning by using different words.
Or I could just be a reserved person.
Exactly.
You could,
But I don't think that's true. I have a podcast. I'm not very reserved.
but you could be in certain situations because it is appropriate to be in those situations.
Appropriateness.
Yeah,
I think we're pretty close on time.
we are,
We're way
but
over.
we're
Yeah.
really like into it.
Yeah, this is crazy.
I don't wish to speak any further. On
Okay,
this.
okay. Well, we can close it out if you want.
Okay. I kind of have a quote.
Okay,
Cool.
do it.
I'm really, really, really paraphrasing. I saw this on whatever. So what it's said that it's really hard to truly express yourself in a certain form. Like you can try as hard as you want, but it's really hard to truly express yourself.
Mhm.
So like the object would be to continue to like do the best job at expressing yourself, whether it be like making beer or making music or art, like to continue to progress to be better at making your scotch.
Definitely, or a
But if you-
podcast.
But if you're a
podcast.
serial
Yeah.
killer, don't express yourself.
Oh,
All right, and that's it for the Finished Business Podcast. Thank you.
thank you, Gabe.